So once again, sorry for all the technical difficulties. We're starting the Traffic and Mobility Commission meeting. Today is Monday, May 4th, 2020. Starting at 3:09 p.m. We're going to go over the rules of how to participate. State of California Executive Order N2920. In the interest of public health and safety, we are temporarily taking actions to prevent and mitigate the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic by holding Traffic and Mobility Commission meeting electronically and by teleconferencing. This is our second meeting that we have by Zoom. Traffic and Mobility Commission meeting can be watched via live stream or replayed on the city website, www.carlsbadca.gov. You can participate in the meeting by emailing your comments to the meeting clerks at transportation@carlsbadca.gov prior to commencement of the agenda item. Your comments will be transmitted to the Traffic and Mobility Commission. Desire to have your comments read into the record at the Traffic and Mobility Commission meeting, please indicate so in the first line of your email and limit your email to 500 words or less. This procedure should remain in place during the period in which state or local health officials have imposed or recommended social distancing measures. Okay, with that said, we're gonna start. Ellie, would you please do a call to order? Roll call.
Yes, Commissioner Perez.
Here.
Commissioner Linke.
Here.
Commissioner Fowler.
Here.
Commissioner Pensier.
Here.
Commissioner Hunter.
Here.
Vice Chair Johnson.
Here.
Chair Goken.
Present. Please note that all commissioners are present. Next, we're going to go to approval of the minutes. The minutes from the last meeting that we had special held on April 6, 2020. Do any commissioners have comments? And I'm going to go one by one. And please make your comments or your change requests, and we go from there. I'm going to start with Commissioner Hunter.
I'm going to wait for Commissioner Linke to make his comments, but I have no other comments.
Okay. Commissioner Perez.
No changes or any comments on my side. Thank you.
Commissioner Pensier.
No other comments.
Okay. Commissioner Linke.
So I submitted a one-page letter with a two-page attachment. My concern here is that when we voted on the matter of the 4 deficient street facilities at our last meeting, I think the motion was pretty clear, but when staff put it into the staff report for the city council meeting tomorrow, they sort of reinterpreted the recommendation that was made. Doesn't mention one of the central items in that motion, which was to oppose the exemptions being put on the street. The staff report also doesn't include the quantitative data. So the two-page attachment that I put on the letter is basically exactly the data that I presented at the meeting and that was voted upon to include in our recommendation. So I'd like to have that put into the minutes. And in addition to that, just to clarify the part of the meeting where we designated that that the quantitative data was going to be included, I included that portion of the meeting. If anybody has any questions, let me know. But I'd like to move that we include that two-page summary of the recommendation with the minutes, and that be included with the city council meeting tomorrow.
Okay, so I had a discussion with Ms. Gomez, and I'm going to let her comment on it.
Thank you, Chair Goken. So when we sent out the staff report last week, Exhibit 14 still shows that it's a draft. Because we usually do have a time lag Whenever there is additional materials or additional items that's presented as needed to City Council, we had planned all along that since we were having the Traffic and Mobility Commission meeting today, the assumption was that the minutes would be approved today. So there's already a memo that's drafted for additional materials that would incorporate the actual minutes for today that's going to be approved by the commission. And I understand what you're saying, Commissioner Linke. I think the staff intent was to abbreviate within the staff report as much as possible on page 29 of the report. And so what we would do is take the information that you had requested to be added, including some of the verbatim transcript of what Traffic Director Frank had said and what you had said. And if the commission wishes to have that be incorporated as part of the minutes, then we would take that portion and add it into the additional materials memo to be incorporated to replace sentences within the staff report.
Okay. So Commissioner Linke made a motion. Do I have a second for that motion? Commissioner Hunter, you're muted.
Yeah, I'll second the motion. Also, just as we go forward, if a motion's made, we need to act on that motion before we have discussion on that motion, a second or not a second. And just for clarification, I wasn't sure if he made a motion or because he said, I'd like to make a motion. So we had an issue a couple times ago. So if we can be clear if we're making motions or not making motions, so we can follow the proper process. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So for the record, Commissioner Linke made the motion and Commissioner Hunter seconded the motion. Can we go for a vote, Ellie?
Yes.
I have a comment to make before we vote, please.
Sure.
So this is to me implausible. The motion was very clear, and to abbreviate it in a way that eliminated the exemption or opposition to the exemptions, and to abbreviate it to the point where all of the quantitative data, none of the quantitative data was included, even though I submitted it 2 days after the meeting. I want everybody to know 2 days after the meeting is when I submitted this 2-page letter to staff and asked them if there's any issue. I CC'd Chair Gokin. I was told that they get back to us if we have any questions. And a month went by, nothing happened, and then Friday night we find out that it's not included in the City Council. And it's just implausible to me that the plan all along was to fix it today. We can't fix things the day before. So I'd like to vote, but I hope that we can have a little better conduct going forward. I'll end there.
May I address that, Chair Gokin? Thank you. So with regards to the request, Commissioner Linke, on the quantitative data, this is a presentation, and I understood that there might have been a misunderstanding. I thought we were fairly clear during the last meeting that Chair Gokin, as per the communications plan, would be presenting as part of staff's presentation, and that the quantitative data, which was prepared by yourself, would be presented by the commission as your information that you would like to share to expand on the quantitative data and information that's provided in the traffic study that is the Exhibit 8. So I think that was certainly my understanding of it. With regards to the minutes itself, that was the intent, and it is included in there in the draft minutes with regards to the exemptions, as well as to reference to the quantitative data. And it was also mentioned on page 29, but it did not attach the quantitative data because that was going to be the presentation that was going to be included with the presentation by Chair Gokin. So that it is not data that was prepared by staff, which was why it was not included as part of the staff's report. But as part of the minutes, as approved by the commission today, there's already the draft, and it will just be replaced with the actual approved minutes, which would include the data that was presented.
I don't want to get in the back and forth here, but the recommendation made by the commission was not accurately reflected in the main body of the staff's city council staff report. It was the minutes themselves are inaccurate as well and buried hundreds of pages deep. And so we need to change how this works. Ms. Gokin wasn't contacted until Sunday night about the fact she didn't even know she would be presenting. There's just, no excuses for any of this.
Chair Gokin and I had that discussion earlier today, and we had discussed that moving forward, our staff liaison will be reaching out to her a week before the meeting to ensure that there is communication flow between the staff liaison and the chair of the commission. Understand? I thought, and in all honesty, or the draft of the PowerPoint presentation for tomorrow had her name on it. In the dry run that was prepared, had a summary of the both Traffic and Mobility Commission meetings. So that was the intent all along. And so it appears that that may not have been communicated appropriately. So we will work on improving our communications with the chair and the commission. Anything that is wrong with the way that the minutes or maybe inaccurate and maybe perhaps not verbatim of the way that the minutes were captured, this is the opportunity now. And Commissioner Linke, you had prepared your proposal of how the minutes should be presented. And as has been done before, when the commission votes on it, that is captured as the minutes. And so if you made a motion and commission votes on it and it's approved as the minutes, then tomorrow in the additional materials memo that will be presented to council, it will be submitted to them as this is the approved minutes of this commission.
Okay. So can we please go to vote?
Commissioner Perez,
Yay.
Commissioner Linke,
Yes.
Commissioner Fowler,
Yes.
Commissioner Pensiers,
Yes.
Commissioner Hunter,
Yes.
Vice Chair Johnson,
Yes.
Chair Gokin.
Yes. Please note that it passed unanimously for the minutes from last meeting on April 6, 2020 to be changed with the inclusion that Commissioner Linke added. And we will make sure that tomorrow when I present to the council, our suggestion is and advice is heard on this matter. Okay. Do any other commissioners have any changes to the minutes? Commissioner Fowler? No. Vice Chair Johnson?
No.
Okay, and I don't either because Commissioner Linke already covered the changes that I wanted to make. Okay, with that said, we're gonna move to departmental reports and we're gonna start with police report.
Chair Gokin, if I could interrupt, we would just like to request one item be moved, just in terms of the order, if that's okay with you. We would like to request moving item number 6, the fiscal year 2021 pavement overlay, to item number 4.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay, so we're gonna move item number 6 on the agenda. We're gonna replace it, well, not replace it, but move it to item number 4. So you want number 4 to be in place of number 6, correct?
Or just shift everything down. So
Actually, Nathan,
yeah,
I'm sorry, my video is off. This is Tom Frank. We could just switch it actually, as the chair suggested.
okay.
Yes, thank you, Chair.